1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. And this is one of the most incredible stories that I've ever heard, and one of the most incredible stories that we're going to have a chance to tell here. We're on the phone with Tim Lynch, New York Yankees prospect, 9th-round draft pick out of Southern Miss this year. Tim, congratulations on that. But it's more than just playing with you, because before you had a chance to be a professional baseball player, you were chasing down professionals as an autograph collector.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kind of be on the other side of that. It's going to be pretty cool up here in the next couple of weeks, getting my pro career started. But, just growing up so close to, right in Jupiter, which is, the Cardinals and Marlins, did spring training right there. So, every single weekend I was out there at the ball fields, and then obviously the Florida State League games. We had 2 teams right there in Jupiter. So, every single night over the summer, me and about 6 or 7 of my buddies would, pretty much be there every single day. And, we get the Baseball America handbooks, all the Bowman cards, all the Prospect Plus, all those different card sets, and, really have fun out there.
So, did I read correctly that you have like 200 Miguel Cabreras, over 100 Albert Pujols autographs? Are these numbers right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I said I have probably over 100 Miguel Cabreras for sure. And then, Pujols, I got a bunch of him, because those were the 2 guys you really wanted to get, especially Cabrera was, we saw him in the minors. So he was right. He was playing his minor league ball right there in Jupiter. So, and he was a big time prospect coming up. So, you get all those cards and stuff, and I look back on it, it's like, what do I need all those for? But at the time, it's just something to keep you busy, something that's fun. Keep interacting with the players is pretty cool. So, yeah, I got a good amount of those guys.
So how did it, I like collecting autographs too. I used to send them out by the mail when I was a little younger. And loved doing that. And it was always a thrill to get one back in the mail. How did you get the itch for autograph collecting?
My dad always just took me out to those games when I was, as young as probably 4 and 5, back when the old Montreal Expos used to be in West Palm Beach, and then they moved right to Jupiter. And my older brother and my dad, they kind of got me into the autograph thing just for, I would get autographs of, some players, but I kind of just fell in love with it. What we would do is he'd give me he'd get a foul ball in batting practice or something, and I'd get as many autographs as I could on it. But, I kind of evolved into, baseball cards and then pictures and then stuff like that. And it kind of just kept growing and growing. My interest kept getting more and more. I had that baseball fever that I wanted to collect as much as possible. It was just a lot of fun.
So for a kid out there who's listening to this, we've got the Tri-City Valley Cats, who's the single-A affiliate of the Houston Astros. We've got them right here in town. For a kid who wants to get autographs for a player, how do they go about it? What's the best way to? What's the best plan of action?
Just be respectful. Please, thank you. Definitely taking the cap off the Sharpie before you hand it to the player is definitely something that I've learned is they like, especially I like it. And then I kind of learned that trick when I was a little bit younger. But yeah, just be as respectful as you can. The one thing I've come to learn is if a player's going to sign autographs, he's going to sign autographs. There's no point in getting in an argument. I've seen some not many kids, but I've seen some older people getting some arguments with some players about not signing autographs. And at the end of the day, if a guy's going to sign autographs, he's going to sign autographs. And so all you can do is just be as respectful as possible and appreciative of it.
Do the adults ruin the autograph game for kids? Because is everyone fearful about an adult who's coming up having you sign 9 of them? Are players worried about them being sold and things like that? Do the adult autograph seeker ruin it for the kids?
No. I mean, it's for everybody. Just because it's mostly you see a lot of kids out there doesn't mean that it's only something that kids can do. Adults love the game and love collecting, and so it's a hobby. So I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I've been there handing a minor league guy a sheet of 15 of the exact same card before. Why I did that? What I need 15 for, I don't know. It's just I had 15 of the cards, so I figured, why not just get them signed? They're going to do no good just sitting there unsigned in my house. So, but no, I mean it's for everybody as long as everybody's being respectful and you definitely don't want to go in there and try and get 10 of them before the guy he doesn't get one. So as long as you're being fair and respectful about it, I think it's definitely for everybody.
Now, you played your college ball, Southern Miss, 9th-round draft pick, the Yankees. We are your home for Yankees baseball here in the Capital Region. At what point in your life did you realize that you could go from the kid who was on the outside watching baseball to being the guy on the inside who was eventually going to get asked for his autograph? When did you realize you could become a professional player?
Probably when I was in high school, when I really started to get recruited and started to have a little bit of success in high school. To be totally honest, I think being around the game and collecting as much as I was really made me want it more, because you see how much you respect these guys and stuff that you just, you want to be like them so bad. And so, during the days when I would be collecting at night and stuff, I would just, me and my brothers, my friends, would go to the ballpark and hit. And obviously once I got into high school, started lifting weights, and I started being able to hit the ball for a lot more power. And I kind of realized, hey, maybe I can do something with this. And then, I started getting recruited by college. I actually talked to some scouts in high school. And then, probably around my junior year of high school, I started to realize that maybe I can do this.
What was the moment like for you when you got the call this year that you were going to be a Yankee?
Oh man, it was unreal. I was in Destin, which is right near Panama City Beach. Some of the seniors and some of the other guys, we usually take an end of the year boat trip. So we were on the boat, and my best friend and roommate from school, Nick Dawson, he was just scrolling through on his phone. He was following. He said, "Hey man, you just got drafted by the Yankees." And because I had been talking to the scout during the day a little bit, and then I was like, "You serious?" He's like, "Yeah." And then sure enough, like 10 seconds later, the Yankees called me and said, "Congratulations on New York Yankee," and stuff like that. And it was just, you can't really, you dream of it all the time, but then when it actually happens, it was unbelievable.
Tim Lynch, New York Yankees prospect, with us, 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com, starting his career in the Appalachian League in Pulaski, Virginia. Tim, here's the question. Bigger thrill, getting an autograph or being asked to sign an autograph?
I would still probably say getting one, especially with someone that you really, really want. I would say, I signed a few at school, baseball. We have a pretty big baseball fan base down there in Mississippi. But I would still say, I got Jeter when I was younger, and that's the real, it's almost like when you come across a guy like that, you almost start you're so starstruck, you almost start shaking. But so I would still probably say getting an autograph.
Please tell me, I think it was Ken Rosenthal who wrote the original story. Please tell me the Lorenzo Cain story I'm so fascinated by.
Yeah, well, I guess there was a card, and I was talking to my agent now, who was actually Lorenzo's agent at the time. I guess there was some discrepancy with Topps not paying him the right amount of money or something, so he didn't want to sign the card. And so it was, all my buddies and me, we had this Bowman card, and the cool thing to do was to try and get the entire set signed. And so there's, I don't know how many, maybe there's 100 cards or 75 cards, something like that. And so if you don't get everyone signed, it's like, it's a real letdown, which I didn't end up getting the whole set signed anyway. But so he just needed this card signed so bad, and he just didn't want to do it because, he would sign anything else you asked him, ball, picture, whatever. But just this one card he didn't like. And so the last day they were in town, I was in Dunkin' Donuts. It was a Sunday afternoon game, and so I was getting some breakfast before I went to the park with my mom. I ended up getting, a half dozen donuts, and I said, you know what, if I'm gonna get this card signed, this is gonna be the only way. And so I figured, hey, this is my last chance. I said to him, hey, this is all I got. This is the best I can do. Can you please sign the card? I really need you to sign it for my entire set, otherwise the set's gonna go to waste. And he put a big old smile on and laughed, and he signed it for me and a couple of my buddies, so it was pretty cool.
That's an unbelievable story. So if the day comes when you make the major leagues and you're on the field against Lorenzo Cain, against Miguel Cabrera, is it going to be weird? Like, hey, I was the kid who was chasing you down 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll remember me or not, but that definitely would be cool. I think one of the funniest stories is that's how I met my agent, actually.
Oh. Because your agent was an autograph collector too at one point as well, so he knew how this was working. He used to see you as a kid out there, right?
Yeah, he was, and then he had a bunch of guys in the minors at the time. Now Jeremy Jeffers, closer with the Brewers. He's got a couple of Michael Brantley with Indians. So he's got some real good players. But at the time they were coming up, and so he was always just hanging out there, and he would kind of just talk autographs with us. We all kind of just became friends with him. He'd talk to us about some of his autographs. He'd show us some of the stuff he had. He always loved looking at our stuff, and so he always said, "Yeah, if any of you guys ever make it, give me a call." And sure enough, we kind of kept in touch over the years, and in high school, even out throughout high school and in college, it was kind of more like a friendship. We kind of just talked about autographs every here and there. Actually, my name in his phone was like Tim Autograph Collector or something. But and then so last year, I actually had an opportunity to sign a free agent deal at the end of the summer. And I gave him a call, and he was like, "What? You serious?" Because when people think autograph collector, we're all nerds. We're just nerdy little kids out there. And then all of a sudden, he was like, "Whoa, man! Like, are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so then we kind of stay in touch, and now it's been cool talking to him about how everything he's helped me with so many, endorsements and getting gear and stuff. He's really just been like the same type of friend that he's been kind of throughout the whole time. It's kind of funny.
I don't know who you're calling nerd, Tim, but my autograph collecting got me D3, got me to be a D3 pitcher, and if you need 78 on the black, I'm your guy. So
hey, I think it's because even at school, I had a couple, like most kids decorate their college dorms or their college apartments with, posters, of women or Michael Jordan, something like that. And I'm a big Dolphins fan. I actually had Ryan Tannehill up there signed, and I had a couple Florida Panthers players. I had a Brian Dozier because he went to Southern Miss. And actually, before our conference championship game, Brett Favre threw out the first pitch, and so I made sure I got a Brett Favre out there.
Oh man! Now, who's the one autograph you're still chasing at this point?
Yeah, I would say A-Rod, just because he's obviously he's one of my, if not my favorite player growing up watching, and he actually, to his credit, he signs a lot of autographs. But you know how it is with the Yankees, man. There's such a strong fan base that if you're going to a Yankees game trying to get autographs, man, you need to bring shoulder pads or something, like a football helmet, because it gets wild. It gets wild.
The coolest autograph story I have in person is, so like I said, I'm a Mariners fan. At this point, I was 12 years old. I was in Seattle visiting, tried to get Mariners autographs. It didn't end up working out. My little brother, who was 6 at the time, went over to the Oakland side of things where no one was. He got Miguel Tejada, Barry Zito, and Art Howe all on a bat, and that was the AL MVP, AL Cy Young, and Manager of the Year all that season, and he was the only one over on their side, so I should have followed his lead.
Yeah, actually, it's funny when the Mets and stuff would, when the Mets back, obviously they're loaded now, but they were loaded, I guess, what was that, mid 2000s or early 2000s? They had Wright, Delgado, Beltran, Reyes, all those different guys. When they came into town for spring training, that was like the team that everyone was all excited about, because on the East Coast we didn't really get the Yankees, Red Sox. They would come over maybe once a year, but the Mets came over a lot because they were close. And so maybe once or twice a year, I would go over and get some of the Cardinals players that day, and it would be so much easier to get like a Pujols or Scott Rowland or Jim Edmonds, guys like that. So that's definitely a good trick to have.
Fans, there you go. You heard it from Brady Farkas, and now you've got it verified from Tim Lynch. Tim, best of luck in your career. We're happy to have you in the Yankee system again, where you're home for Yankees baseball. And as you start in the Appalachian League, hey, if you end your season in the New York Penn League, we'll see you at Joe Bruno Stadium when the Valley Cats take on the Staten Island Yankees. Hopefully you're there, and hopefully we'll get in touch with you again.
Yeah, for sure. You got to take care of my boy Chucky Robinson out there in Tri-City.
We will, absolutely. Tim, thanks a lot for the time.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a good one.